everyone, it's Nova. I'm creating a tag today. It is called OOP, Unapologetic, and I'm creating this tag because I want to show you guys a bunch of amazing out-of-print decks without having to apologize, and I want to encourage others to show us their out-of-print decks. I have gathered many decks here today, yet this is not all of my out-of-print decks. I have more, and probably there will be a part 2 to this video in the future. And at the end of the video, I'm tagging some of my friends and some of my favorite channels. And the tagging only means that I would love to see their out-of-print decks, and I think that many people would enjoy watching their VR. But if you're tagged, please do not feel pushed or obligated to make a VR. Do it only if you really feel like it. Also, if I didn't tag you, that's just because I want to keep the tagging to a minimum. I still going to tag like 20 people because I just really could not stop myself. I really would love to see their videos. But if I haven't tagged you, I would of course be very happy to watch your VR. And even if you don't have a channel, I would still appreciate if you mention your favorite out-of-print decks in the comments. In fact, I've been introduced to many wonderful tarot and oracle decks from your comments. So don't forget, at least let me know in the comments about your favorite out-of-print decks, because there are so many incredible out-of-print decks that are either easy to find or not easy to find, but still we do not get to see them, we do not get introduced to them just because they are out of print. And sometimes we feel like it's a taboo to show out-of-print decks. I created this tag basically just because of that, just because I want to break this taboo completely for this one time. And I think many people will get introduced to incredible decks that we do not see often on TarotTube. So the first deck is FD Milano. This copy is like 100 years old. Look at the Queen of Wands with the titties out. I bought this deck a few years ago in Besançon, France, from an old lady, and she was selling everything in her house. Her house was like this old mansion, these old castles. You have in France, you have a lot of castles and old mansions. She was selling everything, and I bought 5 decks from her. She says that they are around 100 years old. I think so. The quality of the decks are like something else. I've never had this tactile experience with any other deck in my life. It's very different. They are soaped for sure. It's a different type of paper. Look at this hermit. Look at these colors. These gorgeous greens. So I will put a link to that video in my description box. I have 5 decks from the lady. I show all the decks. I talk about the dates of publishing and the school of the TDM. All the information that I have found about these decks are in that video. I don't want to try to give you information that I'm not sure of now. So this was the first deck. I bought 5 decks from that lady, but I'm showing you in this video only 2 of them because I cannot show you all of my out-of-print decks. It's gonna be too long. I'm showing you like half of them. Next is another deck from the same lady. This is the Johann H. Look at these bags. This one is in order. Johann H is the German school, I'm quite sure. Look at these happy faces. The faces in the H deck are so unique. It's a beautiful TDM and very underrated. I know that Giordano Berti is selling them. If you go to his website, or I will put a link to his YouTube channel, in the description box. You can check his YouTube, his Instagram, and you can buy this deck from him. But my copy is not published by Giordano Berti. My copy is a lot older. I love this deck. So precious. So this was the second. The third one is Learo Celtic by Laura Tuan, published by the Vecchi. This deck is also quite old. I have this one for like 15 years now. So the box is like this. And the guidebook in French. Beautiful guidebook. The cards are quite large. Comparing to your standard size tarot, they're this large. These decks are printed, these Vecchi decks are printed on high quality watercolor paper. They're so good. They're amazing. It's such a joy working with them. Look at these cards. They're gorgeous. And you get different colors of backgrounds on the cards. Most of them are like off-white, but you get green ones. These light peach, light blue, light yellow. The cardstock is so good. It's really a joy to work with. And I'm not sure if these characters are fae. I don't think so, but they look like fae very much. Or maybe some of them are fae, like this one. This is a collector's item for me. Like, I don't read with it. I don't really know how to read with this deck. And because the guidebook is in French, that's also not helpful for me. If I have time, I will try to read the guidebook. First, I have to translate it and read it, and then I have some confidence to try to read with this beautiful deck. But even if I cannot read with it, just going through the cards, just shuffling them and looking at them, so nice. Such a delicious experience. Next is the Bonfire Tarot, the first edition. This edition is out of print. This is my favorite edition. I have seen the second edition. I don't have it. The second edition is matte and without these black borders. This one is glossy. As you see, I have edged it. In my opinion, this has a completely different vibe than the second edition that is out now. Completely different. Because of the black borders and the glossiness of it. I also like the one that is published recently. I'm not saying that one is not nice. That one is also really cool. I just like this one a lot better. I think this deck deserves to be glossy. Like in the camera, you cannot really feel what I'm saying, I think. But some decks need to be glossy. And this is one of those. This deck reads like a charm. Very fiery. Love it. So this was the fourth one. Who has both editions? Please let me know if you have both editions. And what do you think? What's the difference? Are the readings also different? Must be, because it's a huge deck. That makes a difference. Like, they are as tall as a standard tarot card, like maybe a few millimeters shorter, but this much wider. So this was number 4. Let me show you another deck that you can buy now, but the version you can buy now is different. Messenger Oracle by Ravin Falan. I apologize if I butchered your name. So this deck, this is the old decks from Blue Angel. The box is a bit smaller, the cards are also a bit smaller and glossy. Are they smaller or are they the same size? I think they're smaller than their recent cards. So they are this much larger, this much wider than your standard tarot card. This is an oracle deck. I have edged it many years ago. It's glossy, as you see. This is the guidebook. Let me just show you the cards. I really like this one because of the borders. The version you can buy now is borderless and matte. I really like this old style, glossy and with borders. This deck also reads very well. It has a predictive quality. Like, it's really good for divinatory readings. Very shamanic. You probably have seen the newer version of this one, but this version is out of print, and it's a shame because it's really cool. So this was the 5th one. Number 6 is a French deck, another French Tarot de Marseille by Louise, 1987, Paris. This one was also created by the Berti. These boxes are so big that I have thrown them away because I have this deck for many years now. And look at this one. This one is Swiss school. I'm quite sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm quite sure this one is Swiss. And I love this cardstock. It has a texture and it's a bit glossy. Love the colors, so cool. I have it in order because I want to make a side-by-side comparison video between this one and my other TDMs. I'm really into making side-by-side videos between my decks, the decks that are similar, because that is very educational and it's really nice to watch. I put a nice music on them. I have a playlist of my side-by-side comparison videos. I will put the playlist in the description box. Check it out. You might really like it. I have quite a lot of videos in there. And they're not only Marseille, there are also other types of decks in there. See, it's really cool. Love the faces in this deck. Tarot Svetlistchey, Drogi. I know Drogi means friends in Russian. I'm not sure which language this is. This is definitely an East European language. Maybe Polish, I'm not sure. This one, I don't know. I cannot find out when it was published. This is a really cool deck. The cards have a number here, like number 1, number 65. And look at this artwork. Four of Swords. Really dope. I have read with it quite a few times. Gives you very interesting readings. It's like an inner journey. And for me, it reminds me of my, like, it works like helps me remember memories that I have forgotten for years. Like things that I did not think about for 30 years, 40 years. It's fascinating how it works. It's so unique and really beautiful in its own way. It's really cool. Gypsy Tarots again, or the Zigeuner Tarot. This one was also published in the 80s, I'm quite sure, not 100% sure, by Walter Wegmuller. This is another gem. Look at the backs. So this one was published by US Games, 1982. Okay, hopefully this one is also in order. Looks like it's in order. For the same reason, to make a side-by-side comparison video. I don't know with which deck though. I think I should do it side-by-side with Tarot Balby. Look how incredible this is. You see these two are wheels of a gypsy caravan. You see it under every card. There is a lot of cabalistic and symbolic information. So these are the wands. This is the page, the knight, queen, and king. These are the cups. Love the suit of cups here. Page, knight, queen, king, suit of swords. It's a stunning deck. Page, knight, queen, king, and you have the pentacles. So much work. It's really artistically done. Page, knight, queen, and king. If you want to see a proper flip through of any of these decks, please let me know. Or if you want me to make a side-by-side comparison video of any of these, also let me know. The Lin Weave Tarot. I have a small version, very small, which I love. This deck is so cute. So this deck was published by Lin Weave Publishing, which was a paper company as far as I know in the 60s. And they hired look at this, hired 4 artists, one of them David Palladini, as you see, to draw 40 something cards. They are all the majors, all the aces, and all the courts, I think. And they were printed on different colors, different papers of that paper company as samples. And the real original copy is huge. Like the cards are, I think, A5 size. I bought this one secondhand. I don't know the story of this one. It did not come in a box. The seller didn't have much information about it. I'm so happy with it. The colors are so gorgeous. this Lo Scarabeo version of Visconti Forza by Fabri and Lo Scarabeo. I have this deck for many years. I have edged it in black, as you see. I don't know which year this was published. Oh good, this one is also in order. I have it in order to do a side-by-side comparison, right? The same story with all of them. I really like this one. It shuffles like a dream. It's so nice to be able to shuffle a Visconti deck. I have this deck specifically because of this devil card. Because you do not see this devil card in any other Visconti versions. And I love the cups. The suit of cups is so beautiful. I really like this one. Like, you can really easily read with this deck. You can use it as your everyday reading deck. And that's why I like it. These 3 decks that I bought from a publisher called TarotAsArt.com. And all 3 of them are really cool. They are packed with esoteric information, esoteric decks. As you see, the quality is really good. These are the packs. And this is the other one. So this one is called the Unified Esoteric Tarot. And there were like only 70 copies of this. Each one of them only 70 copies. Which is weird. Why would you sell only 70 copies? I don't understand. Anyways, this one is color coded. These are the bags. I love these bags. This one is color coded, as you see. I have put keywords on them, which was really stupid. I've put my own keywords on them. So this one is called Study and Learning Deck. Traditional Divinatory Tarot, it's called. This is the back. At TarotAsArt.com. And the third one is called Aquarian Hermetic Tarot, 2nd edition. This one is also really cool. I want to study these decks. I've also put my own keywords on them, which is, again, really stupid, and I regret it. But this is also color coded, as you see. I have to try to remove these words. They're very distracting. This one I bought off of Etsy a few years ago and threw away the box. This one is called the Hexa Tarot. Yeah, Hexa Tarot. This one is an alchemical deck. And you have these information cards. It's a really cool deck, actually. I worked with it a few times. The size is also really nice and small. This is the size. The Hermit. Knight of Discs. 3 of Discs. The High Priestess. Temperance, 7 of discs, King of Cups, 10 of discs, Ace of Wands, 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords, King of Swords, the Chariot. One day I will study all of these decks. I have so many interesting decks to study. I bought this one quite expensive, the other 3 as well. I bought the other 3 that I just showed you. Also quite expensive, like 50 euros each from Etsy, like 5 years ago. Number 16, The Vampire Tarot by Natalie Hertz. This was published in the 90s and I have it for many years. First I thought I lost it. I was looking to buy another one and then I found it in a suitcase. It was in one of my suitcases for years. Look at the backs and look at the sides. I have done the edging myself. This deck is really cool. I love reading with it. It used to be a workhorse. It shuffles really well. Gives you deep layered readings. And you can use it for many different types of readings, like for romantic readings, predictive readings, shadow work, spiritual. Just daily draws and just getting messages. It's awesome. Let me know which one of these decks you have. And do you read with them? What is your experience with them? Tarot Balby. So this was published in Spain in 1975 or 6. Look at the backs. Again, this deck is in order. This Tarot de Marseille, it's not actually Tarot de Marseille. It is Picard. I'm quite sure it's Picard system. It's really hot. People want this deck. It's not very hard to find in Europe. Like you can find this for like, I think 100 euros, 90 euros. I know it's a lot more expensive in the US. This deck came out the same year as El Gran Esoterico. And they are both masterpieces. Most of my older decks don't have a box, unfortunately, because I used to think that it makes sense if I throw away the boxes and then put them in pouches, but soon enough I realized that that doesn't work for me. Let me put them back in order. So this is the Fool. This is the Feng Shui Tarot. The Fool, the Magician, High Priestess, Empress, there's the Emperor, whom I love, the Hierophant, the Lovers, and what happened here? It's a bit out of order. I wanted to make a flip through of this deck and it's a bit out of order. Anyways, let me just show you. So this one is the Green Dragon 9. And the Green Dragon is the suit of, what do you think? It's the suit of Earth. Look at these depictions. They're really, really nice. And then you have the white tiger, which is the suit of air. The knight, the queen, and the king. And then Wheel of Fortune, the Hangman. Oh, I love the Death card. Temperance also. Materialism as the devil. The Tower. It's lovely. The World. Red Phoenix. So the Red Phoenix is the suit of fire. You have the Queen of Red Phoenix. And you have the Tortoise for the suit of water. The Chariot. And this is the Feng Shui Tarot. And I don't know how many years old this deck is. I really love it. One of my most favorite tarot decks of all time. The Banco Tarot. It's a shame that this deck is out of print because this one is also a gem. The Fool, the High Priestess, the Magician, the Empress, Emperor, Hierophant, the Lovers. It's good that this one is in order. It's kind of in order. This deck reads really well. It is not your usual type of depiction. I can imagine that many people would not like it or could not relate, but at the same time many people really like this deck. I love it. It's fantastic. I really hope this one comes back on print. I think everyone should give it a try. The Persian Tarot by Madame Indira, 55 cards. So this tarot has only 55 cards. When was it published? It was published in France in 1981. So this deck is 43 years old. I have edged it in gold, metallic gold. So this is not your standard tarot system. It has a little guidebook, but I have not even read the guidebook. I just use it like this. I read it elementally and numerologically, the pips, and then these images intuitively. It is a very intuitive deck. And it's so funky and edgy. Really feel like I'm a proper divinatory reader from older times, like from 50 years ago. It's so lovely. I do read with it. I need to clean it. It is very old. So it has marks everywhere. I bought it secondhand a few years ago. And there's more cards in it. Next is Spoa Tarot. So my copy is printed on, what do you call it? I'm losing my words, guys. Wow. Linen cardstock. This is a fabulous tarot. It reads like no other. The art is so stunning. It is a collage deck, as you see. And it has all the zodiac signs. It shuffles so well. Look at the High Priestess. 10 of Wands, 2 of Coins, Page of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, 6 of Wands, 10 of Swords. This is a highly sought after deck. It's a gem. Look at 5 of Coins. The Hierophant. Next is the 78 Tarot Astral, which is my very favorite deck of all the 78 tarot decks. Look at this one, the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, Emperor, Hierophant. Love this Hermit card. And this Justice card. I love every single card in this deck. Death. So this was created by 78 artists. It's a collab. All the decks from 78 Tarot are collaborations, and they are all collector items. They are all published only once, and this is my favorite one out of all of their publications. I think this deck is a masterpiece. Every single card in this deck is a masterpiece. I'm going to show you all the cards because why not? This deck deserves it. Look at this 9 of Cups. And the Page of Cups by Johann H. I'm so proud of this one. I say I'm proud of the deck, but what I mean is that I'm proud for having the deck. These two are from Doreen Virtue. Which one is older? I'm not sure which one is older. Anyways, I don't have to tell you about the publication date of each deck because it's gonna take too long. So let me show you this one first. This one is the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. The guidebook is awesome. I really like this one. Look at the backs. I used to have more Doreen Virtue decks. I still have a lot. I'm just showing you these two today because you have seen Doreen Virtue's decks. I'm just showing you two of my favorites. I like this one because each card is a different color, because they're goddesses. I love goddess decks. I work with goddess decks often. I like the key phrases and the keywords, the goddesses that are used for this deck. Also the depictions of them. It's just a old school, cozy, beautiful deck. Love all the goddesses here. Yamanya, golden opportunity. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. And as I said, the guidebook is amazing too. So this is definitely one of my favorite Doreen Virtue decks. And the other one, Healing with the Angels Oracle cards. I also really like this one. I really like the guidebook. I always read the guidebook when I use this deck. I have used this one like 100 times. Look at my edging. It's wearing off. And I really like the style of this deck. These old style church, religious, like this Christian type of, I don't know, border. Don't know exactly how to call this and what this is, these borders. But I know they belong to these Christian images, right? Somehow. Anyways, so these are your guardian angels. And there is one keyword on each. They work really well within a tarot reading. Or to just pull one card as a daily message and then put it on your altar. I'm not big into angels, but I do like angel cards. Next is this beautiful Tarot de Marseille. This is Le Tarot. This deck is called Le Tarot. And it's created by Diego Meldi in Spain. Quite some time ago. I don't know when. I do have the guidebook for it in Spanish. I threw away the box because the box was huge. And I have like 500 decks. I cannot keep all the boxes. Look how cool this is. This is my summer deck. My summer Marseille. Love the pips. They're so fresh and crisp. Love the court cards. Look at the Queen of Wands. Look at these beautiful cups. Again, it's in order for a comparison. Which deck shall I compare this one with? It should be a Marseille deck, of course. Which one? So I put it in this pouch that I have made myself. Like this. This is a lot easier to keep, and the book is in my book library because I have my books separated in a different shelf. I don't keep everything together. I have a few shelves for my decks and one big shelf for all my guidebooks. Next is Fantastical Tarot by Natalie Hertz. This deck was published by US Games in the 90s, I think. I'm quite sure in the 90s, and I have edged mine and I love it. Love the way it looks. I bought this one recently and it is still in order. I had one before which I have lost. I have no idea where it is, and then I found a brand new copy secondhand. And I'm so happy with it because it was completely sealed and I edged it in this beautiful blue. I want to keep it in order because I want to film a side-by-side comparison between all the three decks of Natalie Hertz. This is a very talkative tarot. It's talkative and emotional. Love this moon card. Sun card as well. So here's the suit of wands. Not only I like her art style, but also the way she looks at tarot, her point of view, the way she delivers the energy of each tarot archetype and the minors as well. Look at the Eight of Cups. She's tired of it, you see. Beautiful colors. I love the borders on this deck. It's so cool. Is this 90s or 80s, guys? Let me see if it says on the guidebook. Queen of Swords. Why am I at the King of Wands all of a sudden? I just received this deck the other day and I immediately painted the edges. What do you think about this one? Who has this deck? Let me put the king here. 1999. Copyright 1999 by US Games Inc. Okay, next. For Hexa Tarot by MJ Cullinan. So this is the indie version that is out of print now. I like this version so much better than the mass market version. The guidebook is like suede. This cannot be paper. This is like textile, really like suede. So the guidebook is really good. And the cards. I've edged it, by the way, look. And it did bleed a little bit on the cards, and I like it actually. I like these micro borders in orange. I think this deck looks a lot better in its indie form. Although a few of her other decks came out better in the mass market version. Like the Guardian of the Night. The mass market is a lot better. Looks better. But this one, I really like these borders. So much better than the mass market version. I mean, if you have the mass market version, enjoy it. I don't want to spoil it for you. I just think they really did not need that huge golden bar in the bottom, because the artwork itself is so intricate and also so busy and colorful. Like, these borders are not that prominent. They're not in your face. They kind of blend with the rest of the image. I love this deck. It reads so well. One of my most used decks. And I have it for like 5 years now. So happy with it. This deck is going nowhere. And I bought it so expensive. I bought it when it came out and ordered it from MJ Cullinan's website. So I had to pay extra for shipment and import tax. Later on, much later, I found out that if I buy things off of Etsy, it's gonna be a lot cheaper. Anyways, I paid a lot for this deck and I still think it's worth it. I'm so happy that I have the indie version. And it's really a shame that it's out of print. Tapestry Tarot. I have the Dutch version, which is the very first version, which came out in the 80s, right? So this very first version has different sizes, like you get the majors in this size and the minors are a lot smaller, as you see. This was created by Yvonne Jensen, a Dutch artist. She has written an incredible guidebook for this deck as well. I don't have the guidebook. And you get the Dutch title and the English title, Schoonheid, Beauty. Let me just show you some of the cards. And by the way, the Dutch version has a different name, like Zijwegen of Voetsporen is the name of the minors, and the name of the majors is Hothor Tarot. Hothor Tarot. Hothor Rota. I have not read the guidebook. Later, US Games published this deck. This is the Justice. So this is a tapestry collage. And it's so weird. It reads really well, by the way. It is scary though. Like the material she has used in this deck is insane. She has used hair and I don't know. It's not only textile. It's other things too. But it's really cool. These are the minors. I want to keep the sharp corners. I will go through the pain, but I am going to keep it in its original form. I think this deck is priceless. Murder of Crows Tarot by Corrado Roy. This was a limited edition tarot published by Los Scarabeo. I have number 18 out of 2,999 copies. So there were actually a lot of copies. This one is 2012, I think. Because recently they had another run of this deck. And they sold it for 100 euros. And I also bought this deck for more than 100, like 120 euros. They are large. This is the size. And glossy. This deck is not only good for shadow work. You might think this is only for shadow work, but no. I've used it for many different types of readings. Just inner work. And as you know, you most probably have seen the mass market version of this deck. That one is the same without the red. So it's just black and white. And it's completely different. It's just so much better with red. That's just a fact. Otherwise, I would have bought that one. Just paid 20 euros and bought the other one. I really love it. Also really like the cardstock. It's thick and sturdy and glossy. Not high gloss, but it is glossy. And I have edged it in red myself. So it's even better now. If I'm ever going to sell this deck, it will be for a really high price. This one is the Greenwood Tarot. The version that I have is not the original version. This is a make playing card version of the deck. It is on a really high quality paper though. It's soft, it's like the softest and nicest linen cardstock, and the cards are quite large. This is the size. I bought this from Maria Luisa. I will put a link to her YouTube channel in my description box. She has an Instagram as well. You can message her on her Instagram. She might have more copies of this deck. I bought this from her like, I don't know, like 9 months ago or something. Around 9 months ago. Really happy with it. This deck is very hot and difficult to find. Next is Daughter of the Moon by Fiona Morgan. I have the Dutch version published by Kopenhol Uitgeverij. And I am super duper happy with this one. The guidebook is amazing. And it's huge, by the way. This is the size. This deck is so beautiful, as you see. This deck has a soul. I think it's really good for ancestor readings. Like I have used it for ancestor work. And I also worked with it to get messages, just to get a message. And I've used it in different spreads. It always reads well. It has a very unique energy. And you have goddesses here. Look at this 4 of Cups. Verdriet means sadness. Unfortunately, you do get a copyright and publishing thing here. Like it says it was first published in 1991 and then in 1998. So this one is a 1998 version. But it's really a shame. Like on some of the cards it's in black, which is okay. But on some of the cards it's written in white on a dark background. And it's really a shame. This one, the Amazon, is the Chariot. Some of the cards don't have the title, like they only have a keyword. This one is 5 of Cups and the keyword is the Storm. So it is quite unique in its system. 8 of Fire, opgebrand, burned up, or burned out. And this one is the Ace of Pentacles and this Nukwa. This is a goddess. This one, Lover's card, and the goddess is Aphrodite. And it says here the Lovers. Maybe only the Dutch version is like this. Like this one is the Strength, but it only says the Strength without a keyword. So it's not cohesive. The system is not cohesive. I'm not sure, maybe it's only in the Dutch version. Like here you have the star, and again it only says the star. So with some of the majors you get a goddess or a keyword, and with some you don't. Regardless, it's still awesome. It's really cool. And I also bought it for a really good price because it is in Dutch. And I bought it from tarot.nl. You can check that website out. Maybe they still have some. I bought it for like 28 euros. It takes you everywhere, all over the world. Look at this Empress. So here it does not say Empress, it just says Mawu, which is a goddess, African goddess. It is confusing, like you need to use the guidebook at least the first few times. Okay, next. This one is also a Dutch version of a hot item, the Shakespeare Tarot. The English version of this deck says Shakespeare Oracle, but it is a tarot deck. The Dutch version says Shakespeare Tarot. And then it says, Laat Shakespeare uw toekomst voorspellen. Let Shakespeare predict your future. By A. Bronwen Llewellyn, and the illustrator is Cynthia van Bohler. So, this deck is huge. This is a guidebook in color, and you get this much explanation for the majors and this much per minor. This is the size. And it's really cool. The Shakespeare himself is the magician. He's the puppeteer. The high priestess is Amelia. The empress is Queen Elizabeth. And so on and so forth. So you get all the, here you have the Romeo and Juliet. So you get all the characters from Shakespeare novels as the majors and the courts. And I really like the cardstock. The cardstock is very matte and luscious. I love the color palette. I love the depictions. You get Shakespeare's poetry for the minors. Here in Dutch, of course, which is funny. It sounds really funny when you read it in Dutch. Like funny in a cute way. Look at this green. So yeah, this is another gem which can be used in many different ways. And the last one for today is the Mythic Tarot. I have the French edition with the purple backs. Copyright Trika Newell, 1986. So my copy was published in 1986. And it is in order. I have put it in order because I want to study it. And maybe I would also do a side-by-side comparison video. This deck is out of print for a while, but somebody, I do not remember their name, but somebody has repainted this deck. So there is another deck out there now, readily available on Amazon and everywhere. It's called the New Mythic Tarot, and it's the same deck, the same paintings, but repainted, completely repainted, and there are some differences. So you can check that out. There are videos on YouTube where you can see both. I think Simon over at Hermit's Cave has one, I think. But if you search, you can find to see a side-by-side comparison between this one and the new version. The new version is also fine, but I really like this one. I'm quite proud for having it because it's something else. This is all Greek pantheon, and there is a story, like each suit has a story, and the development of the story that you see in the cards, it's really cool. So let me just finish it since I've been showing all the cards of this one. We're almost there. King of Pentacles. Okay, so let's get to the tagging first. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed and if you think you would like to see more of my videos. I am tagging here Masha over at Musings with Masha, Sylvie over at Tarot Magpie, Mervat, the Egyptian mystic, Honeylu, Cesar over at 78 Quartos, Neha over at Dark Fae Tarot, Julia over at Highly Sensitive Tarot, Rochelle, Amethyst Ascension, Robin's Reflections, Tammy Pie, Rose Honey Ritual, Pure Red Velvet, Project Refined Life, Second Thoughts About the Mission, Rachel, Marine over at Waves of Your Soul, Kasha over at Tarot Map, Sarah over at In 80s Blue, Angela over at TarotAsArt, Marilyn from Tarot Clarity, and Giselle Madvich. So this was it. I hope you enjoyed and looking forward to see you in the next one.